Right then guys, I've got some news. I'm going single. And I'm not splitting up with the wife. Instead, we are changing our double passenger seat for a single driver's seat. Now you might be thinking, why am I putting a second driver's seat in? Well, there's a very good reason for that. Number one, it's significantly cheaper. Now this video is going to be really useful if you've got a VW Crafter or a MAN TGE and you are converting it into a camper van and you want 2 captain seats up front. Now, as standard, most vans, if you're buying them second-hand, come with a double passenger seat. And in our instance, we've got it on a swivel base. It's the R&J double swivel. It's the only company that actually manufactures a double swivel for this van. And it's been great. It's been in the van for the last year. We've used it on all of our trips. As you can see, it creates a really nice space, particularly when we have the driver's side swiveled, which is also on an R&J swivel seat. I'll come back to that later. When we first built this van, we thought it would be useful to have the second and third seat up front, just in case one of the kids wants to travel with us. We've used it once in the last year. It's also quite handy in that this seat here can fold down and it creates like a nice little armrest, little cup holder. But again, is it really necessary? And actually, fast forward, we think we'd value the space that we'd get back more and the weight saving than having an armrest. So I'm going to walk through everything that you need, all the components that are required, and how to install a driver's side seat onto the passenger side. You can buy a passenger seat, you can buy one with a single armrest, double armrest, suspension, all sorts. But basically you're starting to look at about 1,200 quid just for the seat, and then it goes up from there. And some people are selling them, they're actually just modified driver's seats, selling them for similar money. So I'm going to show you how to do it on the driver's side. Now I picked up a second-hand driver's side seat for about £360, and then I've got a single base which I'm going to then bolt the seat onto, and then in another video I'm then going to add a swivel base so we can then turn the seat around. So this is the driver's side seat that I've picked up, and as you can see, the armrest is on the wrong side and the seat buckle is on the wrong side. There's also this little lever here which is also, well, it's technically it's fine, but you can get the passenger side one, which would then put it on this side, so that's going to not get in the way when you're getting in and out of the van. And then I've also got this single passenger side seat base, which I've picked up from a mate. So it was very convenient because this passenger base was being sold by a friend of mine called Al. Check out his Instagram, Simvan Family. He has just converted his van into twin captains, and he was getting rid of this base because he's gone a slightly different route. So it just was convenient that this was available and this seat was available and they were local. So decided, let's do it. Now the first thing you're going to want to do is basically take off the plastics from the side of the seat. These, the little wheels, they literally just pop off with a bit of a yank. The wiring loom for the driver's side, that can all just unclip. And then moving around here, so we've got, this is the seat buckle, and you're going to need a spline bolt to basically undo that, unclip the wiring loom from that side, and then that seat belt can come out like so. Now these plastics really are a bit of a bitch to get off, particularly at the back. There's 2 clips that clip into these bits here, and they're held on with these. What you've got to do is kind of use a needle or a little screwdriver and just push that bit in, pop it through, and it will separate, and then the plastics pull off and kind of slide forward over this handle. But it is an absolute faff, not gonna lie. The next thing you're gonna want to do is on this rail, is there's these 2 bolts on the rail, and you're gonna want to slide this bit forward and use an angle grinder to cut off these 2 nuts. Very similar to here, there's these 2 captive nuts basically. You want to cut them off, and you're going to need to get this bracket. I'll put a link in the description box below to this bracket, which you can get off eBay, and this allows you to then put the seat belt on this side, and there's a thread right there. But you basically cut off the nuts, put the new bolt back up through, put the bracket on, put these nuts on, job done. It does come with instructions. There we go, reuse the bolt, there's the seat belt, nice and secure. In fact, this bracket here is even chunkier than the standard one on that side. So quite happy with that. I don't think I actually need this loom because there's nothing to plug it in, but we'll keep it and we'll see. So next job, I've got to move this out. I'm just going to quickly show you the R&J swivel. Really neat piece of kit. Basically it just goes up and down on a lever, and then you can swivel it round. But to get it out, I mean, if you haven't done this already, I've got to obviously remove all this, but if you've just got the standard seat, you're basically looking for 5 bolts. I think they're 16 or 17 mil. They bolt straight through, undo them, whole seat can come out. Now I've got to do that on the R&J, get the seat off, and then I've got to remove the swivel base. Oh, come on. Okay, so now the seat or swivel or whatever you've got is out of the way. The next thing is to remove this fuse box cover, which is pretty simple, just lifts off. And we're going to need to modify this. This section here basically needs to be cut off to allow for the seat base to run down this section here. So we'll get rid of that and we'll come back to it in a minute. We'll get the seat base in position. You just need to line it up with the bolts at the back and the 2 holes at the front. Use a marker pen to mark around this section here, because we're going to need to cut out a little bit of the rubber mat to allow it to fit. Now, right, there's no cables underneath there, so we're good, but there is a little bung underneath here. We need to take that out and put it into there, and then the spare nuts that you've got, you can basically fill the blank holes. But we're going to need to keep 2 nuts to bolt the new base in, and we're also going to need, or bolt, sorry, and then we're going to need to keep these 2 nuts as well for the rear. Put a bung in there, and then the 5th bolt, one of these, can go in the back, and you should all be good. Right, let's cut a little bit of this rubber mat out. Well, that was perfect fit first time. So just going to reuse these 2 front bolts to bolt in there like that, and then the 2 nuts on the rear. Well, that was super easy. Right, let's get the fuse box back in place. Now, luckily, my mate Al has already given me a spare one of these, which is already cut, so that should be fit. There we go, it's been cut. Perfect fit. Right, I forgot to mention earlier, these are the 2 captive nuts that you basically got to cut off from the seat and then fit the seatbelt bracket. So now the seatbelt's on the other side. We've still got the armrest on the driver's side and the pull arm on the driver's side, but I'm not going to worry about them right now. That might be a future modification to the seat. For now, the seat will work. So let's get the plastics back on, basically in reverse of how you take them off. So they slide on from the front, clip 2 clips from the back, then we can get the seat bolted into the van. So I find it helpful with this, the plastics, there's like a little clip at the front just here, and you've got to get it into that little groove, so you can slide the plastic on and then push it into place, and then use these 2 plastic clips around the back. So that bit pushes into the little hole, and this plastic piece and goes through the middle, push that through as well. And then we install this. Right, let's get the seat installed. So we've got 4 of these, I think they're M10 spline bolts, which you're going to need a spline tool for. Again, these are VW bolts, and these will literally just bolt the seat to the seat frame. And then when we get the swivel, seat will come out, and then reuse these to then bolt the swivel to the base. That's a different video though. There we go, 2 driver's seats at the front, and a nice space now for us to use. It's quite handy, you know, when kids are coming in and out, someone can just step into there out the way, or you park up somewhere, quickly jump out the seat and into the back without having to open the door, particularly in the rain. And as you can see, from where we've removed the double, you're left with these 2 holes. And I've got these 3D printed caps, plugs, whatever you want to call them, got them off eBay. And they simply push in there. It's not very good. And there we go. Pretty good match. At least that just finishes it off. Probably put a carpet there anyway. There's a little indentation just there and 2 there from the R&J swivel, which is a bit annoying, but again, it's going to be covered up. So on the seat, we've still got these controls, still got your lumbar support. See what's in a good position. Okay, on the highest position, you could probably just trim a little bit in there, but frankly, pretty happy with that. Yeah, it's a lot more comfy sitting position as a passenger when you're on the road. You can recline a little bit, armrest. Feels like it does need something here, but that's a job for another day. Yes. So just to show you the R&J swivel seat that we've already got on the driver's side, you can see how much height the R&J swivel actually provides. And the reason for that is that you can actually put the handbrake down and then swivel the seat around without having to modify the handbrake. So a lot of people put a folding handbrake in, or they drill holes in and lower it. Now, I'm not going to do that at the moment. I'm going to keep the R&J because I don't mind the height, but, and this seat is on the lowest setting. Yes, it's a little bit more of a faff because you've got to do these. There's basically 4 screw nuts, 2 at the back, 2 at the front. But for the moment, it means that we can keep the R&J in place, keep the handbrake in place, swivel that. We tend to swivel the passenger side more, so that will be the next modification, add a swivel base. And we are going for the Moby frame one from CGL Leisure Vehicles. And the other thing you can do is put plastics in here. I've done that on this side, on the driver's side. So we'll get another one for there. You can also get a plastic for the lower section. Now I blanked mine off with a piece of ply and some Velcro because I use it for access to some spare shoes and a step. There's this lower section, which is kind of a molded piece. And then you have an upper section, which goes on that section there. I have put the part numbers in the description box below. These I actually got from MAN rather than VW. They are a good 30-40% cheaper if you buy through MAN rather than VW. But this is what finishes off the back of the seat nicely. Now this one's a little bit of a faff because you've got these little plastic bits, but I find just bending it in the middle so you can tuck the corners in, and it would help if I had it the right way around. You bend that in there, bend that section in there, and then you've got these metal prongs that go in those slots, and it literally feels a bit aggressive, but it does go in, and that finishes it off nicely. And this little section, simply you've just got these plastic clips that hook over and grab onto this section here, and this is a bit easier to put on, and that's it. Job done. Happy with that. There you go. That is how to install a second driver's seat into your passenger side and modify the seat to make it work for you. I've put links to all of the components that I've used in this install in the description box below. If you've got any comments, please drop them in a DM. As I said earlier, I'm going to do a second video installing the swivel seat onto the passenger side and then show you how both seats work when they're fully swiveled. If you like this video, please like, please subscribe, please hit that notification button so you get a notification when I upload a new video. Really appreciate it, massively helps the channel. For now, peace out, boom.